In developing countries like Angola or Colombia, the income per person is much lower than in developed countries like the United States. In developing countries, scarcity is plentiful in terms of education, food, clean water, good governance, human rights, quality of life, democracy, and wealth. In these harsh conditions, disease like malnutrition flourish, Kwashiorkor being the most widespread form of malnutrition among children under the age of 4. Kwashiorkor can be found when a child eats sufficient calories, but not the basic daily intake of protein. All humans need protein to repair cells, grow muscle, and create antibodies to defend the body against disease. The symptoms can be short height or affected growth, mental changes, anemia, muscle wasting, depigmentation, hair changes, swelling, and fatty liver. If we were to understand the root causes of kwashiorkor, we would first need to ask ourselves, is this a global or local issue? Is kwashiorkor a transboundary condition that affects large numbers of people within many separate nations being the underlying cause or consequence of other global issues? Yes. Therefore, kwashiorkor is a global problem. To understand the interconnectedness Kwashiorkor has with other subjects, it is helpful to create two critical thinking models of understanding, the mobile model and the iceberg model. In a mobile, all the parts of the mobile are unique. However, if you move one piece of the mobile, all the other parts will get affected, sometimes in major or minor ways. In this specific mobile, we can see how Kwashiorkor is interconnected with other global issues such as the environment, population, ignorance, discrimination, injustice, death, disease, and poverty. In the case of discrimination and injustice, for example, if there is unequal distribution of resources in an area, then more kids are going to obtain less protein. Therefore, they're going to be more likely to develop the illness. Here we have the tip of an iceberg, which is only the 10% of the total mass of the iceberg. However, the currents and the forces that act on the iceberg's movement are underwater and are unseen. In this case, the tip of the iceberg or the event would be children suffering from kwashiorkor in Angola or developing countries. Here is the other 90% of the iceberg, which goes unseen and lies underwater. If we are able to see global issues as in the iceberg model, we should be able to see the event, the patterns, and the structures that are the root causes of those patterns. In this case, children suffering from kwashiorkor in a designated area like Angola are the event. The patterns add the things that repeat. For example, multiple children suffering from kwashiorkor all around the globe during a very long time. And these structures are the root causes that drive those patterns, like injustice, government corruption, structural scarcity, lack of resources, exploitation of developing countries, among many other issues. When it comes to global issues and complex systems of connection, there are two linked ways of solving those problems. The first one is personal solutions. What can I, as an individual, do to help the children suffering from malnutrition? Second solution is the structural solutions, which are taken by large or powerful groups of people, like government and organizations. Once again, structural and personal solutions are linked to one another, since individuals are impacted by actions taken by the government and impact the government by taking actions. Back to the question, what can I do to help the children suffering from malnutrition? Be responsible. Reduce your ecological footprint. Increase water efficiency at home. Buy organic food. Be responsible with your vote and be informed. Support democracy. Make the most of your educational opportunities. Voice your opinions. Break the cycle of indifference. Discourage abuse and violence. Always consider the whole system and make wise use of your rights. Now, what can other organizations and governments do to ameliorate the situation in Angola and other developing countries? Well, some developing countries export their food to developed countries in order to pay debts, leaving their people in severe poverty and scarcity. Making food less affordable, especially protein, the main cause of Kwashiorkor. This cycle could be broken if developed countries stopped extraction, contamination, and charged the real environmental and human cost of the product by including the externalized cost of the merchandise to the price. Government responsiveness and democracy are important to create social justice and equity, since the participation of citizens is important to manifest the needs and desires of the people. If these aren't heard by the government, these are not met. In the case of Angola, as a model for most dysfunctional democracies, there is not government responsiveness, but a centralized power and a centralized state that ignores the people and encourages the well-being of few at the expense of many. In this case, the president of Angola has been in power for 33 years. Also, another solution could be helping developing nations to use leapfrog technology to jump from wood energy directly to renewable sources, skipping years of dependence on fossil fuels. This can be achieved if developed nations inform and help developing nations acquire such technology. This will indirectly impact Kwashiorkor, since it will relieve climate change and reduce droughts, famines, and agricultural failure.